Coming up on 5 Minute News. Trump Organization convicted for tax fraud scheme. Special counsel subpoenas Trump election deniers. And judge dismisses case over Jamal Khashoggi killing. It's Wednesday, December 7, episode 1000. I'm Anthony Davis. Disgraced former President Donald Trump's company was convicted of tax fraud on Tuesday for helping executives dodge taxes on lavish perks, such as Manhattan apartments and luxury cars, in a significant repudiation of financial practices at the former president's business. A jury found two corporate entities at the Trump Organization guilty on all 17 counts, including conspiracy charges and falsifying business records. Trump himself was not on trial. The verdict came on the second day of deliberations. The conviction is a validation for New York prosecutors who have spent 3 years investigating the former president and his businesses. As punishment, the Trump Organization could be fined up to $1.6 million, a relatively small amount for a company of its size, though the conviction might make some of its future deals more complicated. The verdict adds to already mounting legal woes for Trump, who faces a criminal investigation in Washington over the retention of top-secret documents at his Florida estate Mar-a-Lago, as well as efforts to undo the results of the 2020 presidential election. While Trump himself was not charged, the verdict marks yet another setback for the former president, who has faced a series of self-inflicted crises since launching his third campaign for the White House last month. The Manhattan District Attorney's case against the Trump Organization was built largely around testimony from the company's former finance chief Alan Weisselberg, who previously pleaded guilty to charges that he manipulated the company's books and his own compensation package to illegally reduce his taxes. Special counsel Jack Smith has subpoenaed local election officials in Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, and Pennsylvania, asking for communications with or involving disgraced former President Donald Trump, his 2020 campaign aides, and a list of allies involved in his efforts to try to overturn the results of the election. The requests are the first known subpoenas by Smith, who was named special counsel last month by Attorney General Merrick Garland to investigate January 6. Smith is overseeing the Justice Department's investigation into the presence of classified documents at Trump's Florida estate, as well as key aspects of a separate probe involving the violent storming of the Capitol on January 6, 2021, and Trump's frantic efforts to remain in power. The subpoenas are the clearest indication yet that Smith's work will include an examination of the fake electors that were part of Trump's effort to subvert the election count and certification. All of the states where requests were sent are states that Trump and his allies targeted as they try to overturn the Democratic vote. Meanwhile, the House committee investigating the January 6 attack on the U.S. Capitol will make criminal referrals to the Justice Department as it wraps up its probe and looks to publish a final report by the end of the year, the panel's chairman said yesterday. Representative Benny Thompson told reporters that the committee has decided to issue the referrals recommending criminal prosecution, but did not disclose who the targets will be or if the former president will be among them. A U.S. judge has dismissed a case against Saudi Arabia's Mohammed bin Salman for conspiring to kill journalist Jamal Khashoggi, saying the Crown Prince was entitled to sovereign immunity despite credible allegations that he was involved in the murder. Judge John Bates, a U.S. District Court judge with a long history of presiding over cases involving national security, acknowledged uneasiness in making the decision, but said that his hands were in effect tied by the Biden administration's recent recommendation that Prince Mohammed be given immunity. The decision to dismiss the charges, which were brought by Khashoggi's fiancée, likely marks the end of efforts to hold the future Saudi king accountable for the 2018 murder. The dismissal of the civil case against Prince Mohammed and two of his close associates, Saud al-Qahtani and Ahmed al-Aziri, means the Saudi heir can now travel to the US and other jurisdictions freely. Although the case was not brought by US prosecutors with the power to arrest him, if it had been allowed to proceed, the case would have created a legal minefield for the Crown Prince, and if he had been found guilty, could have put his financial interests in the US in jeopardy. Khashoggi's brutal murder in 2018 created an international outcry. An investigation by the UN's then Special Rapporteur on extrajudicial killings found that Khashoggi had been the victim of a deliberate, premeditated execution for which the state of Saudi Arabia was responsible under human rights law. Prince Mohammed has said he takes responsibility for the murder but has denied any personal involvement in approving the killing. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.